Okay, we're live.
All right, welcome everyone to our city council meeting for Monday, November 27th, 2023. If we could have a roll call, Madam Clerk, to establish the quorum.
David Avanzino,
Present.
Melissa Green,
Here.
Harry Meyer,
Here.
Terry McClung,
I'm here.
Autumn Slane, here, Steve Holofield.
Here.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, get a motion for approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, additions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor of the agenda as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to approve the minutes for November 27th.
Move to approve the minutes of the 26th.
Second.
All right, Mr. Meyer made the motion, Ms. Lane second to approve the minutes.
It's the 13th.
13th.
The 13th.
13th, that's right.
Oh,
Just the
you're
one
right, 13th.
unlucky, that's all.
Somebody put. Okay, for motion to approve minutes for November 13th by Mr. Meyer and Ms. Lane, seconded. On favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Under Planning Commission, we have Joshua Dugan for confirmation.
I'll make a motion that we accept and nominate, or not nominate, vote for position 7 for Josh Dugan.
Second.
Ms. Green made the motion, Mr. Holyfield seconded. Any additions? Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Also in your packet, you will see a nomination form for Susan Daniels for the HDC that we will pick up the next time. So, brings us to public comments. Anybody back there want to make any comments?
Oh, come on, Kim. You know you want to.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
All right. No public comments tonight. That brings us up to unfinished business with our sewer testing update. Motion to.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Motion made and seconded. Mr. Wiley.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. How are you guys today? Pretty quiet meeting today. So as far as our sewer testing update goes, I want to provide another update on our plant, our sewer plant. So we've got half of our UV system working now, so the water leaving the plant is within compliance with the Department of Health. We were pulling 8 samples, eight different location samples from that creek, pretty much from the railroad station all the way down to the lake almost. But everything, we've had our 2 consecutive tests that were within compliance, so they let us know last week, Tuesday, that we could stop doing that unless something else happens. So, but other than that, still working with the engineers, trying to figure out a solution for long-term for the plant. I believe he will be here either at the end of the, so this is the first of the month, isn't it? No, first of next month, or then the next month he'll be here. So I'm sorry, I just got so much going on, I can't remember what day it is hardly.
Yeah, I have a question. It sounded to me like the last meeting that the rock screens is a pretty serious item that we need to have. I mean, especially you're spending $50-some thousand for a new pump, and probably going to get another one as well, you know, or have it there so if it doesn't get installed, at least have it. And so I think the rock screens are something that we need to get ASAP.
Yes, I agree with you on that. Right now, today I received in the mail from Tracy Consulting Engineers out of Tulsa a set of the 2005 remodel plans, and it kind of shows that Lakeside was on site already at that point. So I met with the engineer today, as a matter of fact, regarding that, and we're working with Lakeside to try to get them out here as soon as possible to get that taken care of. I had a meeting with another company last week regarding the rock situation, and our SBRs have a bunch of rocks and trash in them because they're knocked holes into our trash collection system. So we're looking at the engineer that we've hired, McClellan. They're working on developing a plan and a contract to get somebody in here probably in January when it's the slow season to drain down each SBR one at a time and clean them out, clean out all the garbage and have that trash collection
And then how do
fixed.
you protect it from getting it back in there?
We got to have the trash collection fixed and a rock catch installed.
So that's two separate things.
Right,
Okay, well, that's what our I&I money is for,
right.
you know, is to get these things where they're up to speed and
Yeah, have spare parts ready.
that, you
Yeah.
know, so.
Simon, I agree with Mr. McClung. I was going to bring that up too. I think we do need the other pump. That really kind of went like this to me, you know, and if that pump stopped working, excuse my language, but we would be in deep doo-doo.
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and you know, the secondary pump, we did find out after the last council meeting that it is rebuildable. They did find a shaft for it, so they're rebuilding it as we speak, so we'll have extra pump, which we're probably going to utilize as soon as the two pumps come in, because we need to pull that other pump, because there are rocks in it right now. I can hear them when it's running, so we're going to go ahead and pull it and service it while we can. So, yep.
Simon,
Provenzino?
quick question. You had mentioned the UV testing, and the state said that you didn't have to do that anymore.
Right. So what we were doing was we were collecting samples from 8 different locations along Leatherwood Creek and submitting them to the lab in Springdale. So this was happening 3 days a week. So 3 days a week, one of our staff would go pull samples and take them to the lab in Springdale for testing for E. coli. We had 2 consecutive tests that passed with low enough E. coli counts that the state deemed it not necessary for us to have to pull those tests anymore.
Is that the same as ADEQ?
So the Department of Health and ADQ are 2 different entities. The Department of Health is dealing more with the water side. So the water quality of the creek itself is the Department of Health. The treatment plant is Department of Environmental Quality. So that's the difference. If that makes any sense.
We're still not good with them yet. Is that right, or is that wrong?
Yeah, we're good with the Department of Health. We're just working with the Department of Environmental Quality, who oversees our plant operations, our compost facility, and stuff like that. The wastewater side of things to remedy these issues at the sewer plant. Yes, sir.
Simon, have y'all come up with a solution for the campground that's using the sewer line and
Yes, well,
not buying water?
more or less. We're looking at trying to get a meter that can handle the wastewater coming out of their pumping station that pumps into our system. So they refuse to connect to the water system.
Well, then disconnect them from the sewer.
Well, it's really discussion for Mr. Forrest, I think, more than anything. In my opinion, they should be part of the city water system. I mean, we ran water out there. We have water to their
There's water right there in
location.
front of the place.
But I don't know that we have the grounds in the municipal code to require them to connect to our water. See, we do have in the municipal code where people are required to connect to our sewer system, you know, but the water system, they're not required in the municipal code to connect to the water system.
Mr. City Attorney, can we pass an ordinance?
To my knowledge, there is no ordinance that says you have to join the water system.
Then can we pass an ordinance that says so?
Would you like me to draft one?
If it's legal.
Mr. McClung?
Is there, don't we have a way to charge them for the sewer? I mean, like you say, you gotta get a pump, or?
That's what,
So I think there's going to be amendments to our ordinance anyways, the way it's wrote, because we bill based off of water usage. So if we're basing it off their sewer usage, it's a little bit different. I think that's going to have to be added to the municipal code. You know, It's just a kind of a unique situation for us because everybody else is billed off their water usage.
Yeah, I don't know why we should give them an exception. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense, especially a commercial operation.
Right.
So they're Randback Parks, correct? Those cabins?
No, this is the, what do they call that place?
Kettle campground.
Kettle Campground. It's on the east side of town,
Right.
before you get to the cemetery.
And are they testing their water? Is it safe?
It's state approved. It has to be state
Yeah,
approved well.
since they have so many services, they're required to have licenses, and the people that operate that campground have water licenses, and they pull samples to submit them to the state.
And they've been doing that for a long time, I bet.
Yeah. Well, Jeff Carter
Since they started.
discovered recently that it was going across his property, and he did, there's no easement for it. It just went across.
Let me ask this, did they high grade it? Did they steal the service? Or did it,
There was an agreement between the former mayor.
is it a written agreement?
There's no written agreement. There is easements that were prescribed, but they were signed by the county, not by the city. So the agreements, as far as I could tell, and of course, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to be an agreement between the Kettle Campground, the pre-existing Kettle Campground, and the county itself instead of the city. Is that correct?
Them ripping us off.
I could not find any of the property owners that necessarily gave that easement. Now, the easement's there, but I'm not sure who gave it to whom or why. But that it is connected to our sewer system, is my understanding.
Yeah, that's correct. But the documents, the way I read it, I'm not an attorney, so please forgive me if I'm incorrect. But the way it looks to me is the agreement was made between the county officials and the owner, and it was never adopted by the city. I can't find anything adopting it from the city standpoint.
So if it's not adopted, can it be revoked?
Pardon?
If it's not adopted, can it be revoked?
Drive a plug in that line.
The solution is not to cut off their sewer system. The proper thing is for the city to process that and for them to pay for it.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Revoke it so they start paying for the service.
Yeah, there's an ordinance that allows us to charge them per campsite and unit and other stuff. It's kind of an awkward, they would go crazy. Again, the solution might be to, they want to put a meter on. We don't apparently run meters on sewage. So the proper thing to do, again, it's been brought up, is to connect them to the city water line, and then we just base it on the water usage. I think that's the proper thing. But again, I could not find anything in our ordinances that says they have to join the city water system.
But there would be something in the ordinance that would prohibit, I'm thinking, that would prohibit having easements on people's property without their knowledge, correct?
That would be a civil issue.
Yeah, it really doesn't apply directly on us. That's their problem. They've got sewage. We'll take it so long as they pay for it. And we're looking for the best solution for that to happen.
Mr. McClung?
Well, if they are legally connected to our sewer line, then that's what I say, if they illegally connected to the sewer line, that's theft. Is that not correct?
I don't know when they connected, or how they connected, or where the paperwork is saying they're legally connected. They are connected. I could not find the paperwork that indicated that ostensibly the people who gave them the permission don't appear to exist under the paperwork up at the courthouse.
Well,
So-
and they didn't agree to pay anything for it either.
No,
so-
I don't think they've been paying for sewage given to us for quite a while.
Well, and these people are, it's not I mean, they bought it from somebody else and just assumed what they were doing was fine. I understand that point, but ignorance is no excuse.
Right, well,
So-
we're taking their sewage, we need to charge them for it. Now we're looking for the best way to get that going.
If you give them, if you make them connect to water, that doesn't mean they're going to use any of it. They can still operate off their wells.
They would
So
have, they would
you're
be
not
forced to
resolving
disconnect that
anything
well
there.
under state and
Pardon me?
federal. They'd be forced to disconnect from the well, according to state and federal law.
It would be?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's no water on that side of the street, is there?
There is.
Is there
They
water
actually
there?
have a fire hydrant right in front of the
Right,
location.
there's a fire hydrant right there on their property.
You know, it's really, it's not that expensive for them to connect. I can't imagine that it would be.
No,
Sure, they
just-
don't want to pay the water bill.
Yeah, they don't want to pay a water bill. Then they,
This needs,
Yeah,
this needs to be resolved. That's not good.
Is there anybody else in town that's on a well that is hooked up to our sewer system?
To my knowledge, there's not.
So it's a package deal, sewer and water.
If we have sewer in the area or within 500 feet, they're mandated by the municipal code to connect to it.
That's unusual.
That's not good.
Is there a process for us to require them to hook up to the water?
I could not find anything in the code that says you have to connect. And as Councilman Meyer suggested, that we possibly have an ordinance that requires people who are within 500 feet of a water line in the city be connected.
What about state? Does the state have requirements?
No, I can't find it, and I could not find it in the state code either.
I'm not even fully aware if they're within the city limits or not.
They are.
oh, they are.
That is,
but I agree with Mr. Meyer. I think we should develop some sort of ordinance. I mean, I don't want to pay my water bill.
Now, behind them, I think they're kind of going out of the city limits to go across to behind Jeff Carter's property, on Jeff Carter's property to get to our sewer system.
I think you're right.
I
You know.
think that's why they went to the county.
I think the obvious solution is I'll draft up an ordinance saying if you're within 500 feet of a line in the city, you get to be connected. And since we base our sewage collection on the water, that should resolve the situation.
But would they not be considered grandfathered?
No.
No. No.
You're
no.
sure about that?
If you're getting free sewage from the city, how do you get grandfathered in?
I'm just saying, in all ordinances that we do, if you're operating that way currently, and we do an ordinance, those that are in existence are grandfathered.
we don't have a
You better be sure of
grandfather.
that.
We don't have any grandfather.
We don't have a grandfather clause on the sewer side. I
No.
mean, when you guys made that ordinance.
I
we didn't
understand
connect.
there's not
Yeah.
now, but, you know, you have other ordinances that set precedent as far as existing things being there, and then you do an ordinance, and they're gonna say, well, you know, I mean, I understand what you're doing, but I'm grandfathered because I've been here. How do you prevent that? I don't know that you
I
can.
think the county went through that same issue, Mr. McClung, when they were trying to get the farmers to hook up to the Carol Boone water line, and they decided not to do it. Make them hook up to Carol Boone for some of these poultry.
They can't make it.
They could make them, they decided not to.
I think Mr. McClung is right. In our planning code book, which is part of our codes, there's something about an 80-day rule. If the city allows them to operate and doesn't do anything, there is a 180-day rule. Now, I don't know if that goes with water, but
You
probably
can't,
should look at
you
it.
can't
That's
claim,
logic.
you can't claim adverse possession over the city. We could,
No, it's
we
not.
we could shut their sewer off tomorrow. And there's nothing they could do about it. And that's why there's nothing they could do. They'll have to hook to the water because we can shut the sewer. And I would stand our ground.
I would check on the code.
So Simon, just a question. With them using our sewer system and the way that they're using it, does it, other than cost to us, does it pose any other threat to surrounding land or businesses or waterways?
No, it does not. So I did reach out to ADQ about this situation regarding the connection. They said it's an illegal connection if they're not paying for services. They advised me to go ahead and shut them off if we felt the need to. Their lawyer has been in contact with the city attorney and myself about it multiple times. I really don't know what the status is on all that right now, but we have been working with them, and it's not been anything recent. I think Dwayne was working with them, trying to get a solution to that as well back when he was here. So it's just an ongoing issue that we're trying to resolve.
So they've been warned and they've ignored all the warnings.
Right. I told them, I said, I have spoke to ADQ, and we have the right to shut you off because it is considered illegal dumping. Agreement with council or whatever, our permit doesn't allow it. So that's what the state, with the sewer department in the state, and we can't allow illegal dumping. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
if it's illegal,
everybody
we
has to pay for the
absolutely need
service.
an ordinance, I think.
Ms. Slane?
How is their infrastructure? Do they physically have a pipe that goes down to their sewage, or are they transporting it?
Oh, no.
It's piped.
It's
So,
piped,
yeah,
okay.
they have a lift station on their premises, and they pump it via a 2-inch pipe across Jeff Carter's property.
Right,
And
yeah.
it goes to a lift station that's back there behind I think it's a White Oak gas station now. It used to be Exxon.
Oh, okay.
Or it might be Exxon now, vice versa, I don't remember, but the gas station on
Yeah.
Ash Play,
White Oak,
White Oak.
White Oak.
Ms. Holyfield?
Is there such thing as water rights or mineral rights? Who owns what in the city limits?
There's
Is that-
poop rights.
I don't think you have a right to, no, the city owns the rights to water in town.
City does?
If, I can't specifically quote the ordinance or anything else, but I can tell you, you can't drill a well in your backyard
That's what I
to
was going to ask.
avoid.
Can I drill a well in my backyard and just shut the city water off?
No,
No,
that's state law.
yeah. And,
So I know in Texas, there's some small towns hid oil in town, and that oil belongs to the city, it didn't belong to the individual property owners.
well, there are reservations of water rights. Holiday Island, you can't drill a well because they reserve all the water rights. And again, you don't want to be drilling wells in this town. Now, there are lots of capped wells and wells that are unused that I know of, but the only thing you could use a private well that's not on the city, in the city limits, is to water your garden.
Here's the deal. That campground was there before it was put in the city limits. And so, or before water was, it might have been in the city limits, but the city did not provide them water. I can't remember which was first, the cart before the horse, I don't recall. But, I mean, their well was there for the purpose, and they operated off septic before.
Yeah.
They have that system. And, it sounds to me like somebody, and I'm not saying, it's the people that have it now, but somebody in the history of ownership, tried to pull a fast one. That's what it sounds like to me.
Indeed.
Do we need a
Ms. Lane?
motion for this?
Yeah. You want to make a motion?
Make a motion to create an ordinance for sewage usage,
Requiring water
right?
hookup.
Requiring water hookup.
Yeah, within property within 500 feet of the water.
Within 500 feet of the water.
Just like sewer.
Second.
That sound like a good motion there, Mr.
Yeah,
Jacoby?
I think we can handle that.
All right, we got a motion, Ms. Slane made a motion to have the city attorney draft an ordinance requiring property owners to hook up to water lines within 500 feet of their property. And Mr. Albenzino seconded that. Any further discussion, Mr. McClung?
Yeah, I think you better do some checking with the state if you haven't already, the Municipal League or somebody on that, because that grandfather clause thing just concerns me. It really does.
Yeah, Mr. McClung, I think that, like Simon was saying, EPA guidelines and any other federal laws would trump any kind of grandfather
Well,
clause.
I understand that they, about the ADEQ, you know, then that it's, and they should do it. They should do it. But I'm saying if they want to not do it and go back to their septic system, or, you know, they can do that too and still operate off their wells. But if, you know, I just
We'll
want to be sure.
verify
I
that
just
before we
want to be
bring
sure.
it to the,
Yeah.
back to the council.
We'll check with the municipal league and see what they say.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, so moved. Any further discussion on the sewer updates or anything? No?
No,
How's the water leaks coming along?
that's the next agenda.
All right, we'll get a motion to discuss on item number 2, the water leak.
So moved.
Second.
All right, you still up?
Over this, the last month since I reported last on the water leak situation, we fixed it. We either repaired or were aware and repairing the leak. So we repaired one on College, one over on Water Street. There's a leak up at top of the Plainer Hill. We're going to have a new line board across the road. We have to find the corp stop where that line ties into the main to shut it off. That line that crosses to the bank across from Plainer Hill is just rusted out, just gone. It's leaking underneath the highway and everything else. But we're trying to find a shut off. We've just been really tied up with other leaks. Fixed a leak at the Van Buren and Huntsville intersection. One in front of the Carnegie Library, one on Breezy Point. Today, all day, they've been working on a leak on Pivot Rock. We should have that one fixed up tomorrow morning. And then our next leak that we found that we haven't been able to get to yet is Thomas Drive. They performed 3 street cuts for new water taps. We're still trying to find time to do that. We've been just really tied up with water leaks lately, so. Meter heads, update on the meter heads.
Yeah.
So I spoke to the representative, and he said that they'll be here next week. But I've been told that for the last 2 weeks, so we'll take that with a grain of salt, I think.
Are you talking about the meter heads from SWEPCO or?
No, these are the drive-by meter heads, so they're going to put the antennas on. So hopefully next week, the beginning of next week, we'll start seeing some people out working on our meters throughout town. It'll take a few weeks, probably the end of the year.
Have they been paid in full?
No.
Good.
Yep. So I'll stand for any questions. Could I bring up one more topic?
Sure.
So this isn't regarding water, but maybe for the public's knowledge. Mill Hollow Bridge, last week I put some information out that it's going to be closed on Monday, and it didn't get closed. Of course, it was raining all day. I spoke with the contractor, and they already put their signs up. They plan on being out there in the morning. So we'll see if they show up, but tomorrow morning, as of tomorrow morning, Mill Hollow should be closed officially.
Put that out on Facebook already and that.
Yeah.
For how long will that be?
I'm going to say a month. They think they're going to be able to get done with it pretty quick. They'll be out here tomorrow, start tying rebar and getting all that kind of stuff together to get working on it. So once they pour the concrete, we're looking at 28-day cure time on it approximately, and then they'll be open back up. So we're looking at about a month.
Not related to this, but do you know if the school zone signs were placed out by Clear Springs yet?
I do have, actually I have more of those signs. So I've ordered new signs for there, and then we were missing one of the signs, and I can't recall off the top of my head what sign it was missing, but I do have those signs in. We're just trying to get some manpower released to be able to do that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
All right. All right, brings us up, our next item is a resolution for the sale of surplus items. Get a
Motion to discuss.
All right, this is our typical resolution for authorizing disposal of surplus property. We've got some vehicles from Public Works, I think from Parks, and also some, not sure where all we got. We got an old truck, old fire truck, Ford high-top van, skid steer, four-wheel drive spreader with plow, 2000 GMC truck. So something we have to get advertised, and then we'll put it on our auction list and sell it. So, Mr. Meyer?
I move to assign this resolution a number and read it for passage.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Meyer made the motion, Ms. Green seconded to sign the number and read for passage. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Assigning resolution number 851, a resolution authorizing the disposal of surplus city property through auction, whereas the City Council recognizes the importance of accounting for capital items disposed of through means of auction, and whereas adherence to the previously established fixed asset policy disposal of assets, which determined that city assets shall not be sold without competitive bidding if the amount exceeds $5,000, ordinance number 1699A 7-25-95 will have been satisfied. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, that the City Council shall accept the monies realized through the auction of the following vehicles and equipment. 2000 GMC 3500 four-wheel drive with spreader and plow, case 1840 skid steer, 1975 Chevrolet fire truck, 2014 Kubota L3901 HSD tractor, 2009 Ford high-top van with lift, and a 2011 Ford high-top van with lift. The above listed fixed assets shall be removed from the city fixed asset listing and the city Parks and Recreation Department fixed asset inventory list once each sale is completed.
All right, that brings us up to our next item is resolution authorizing an end-of-the-year payroll bonus for employees.
Motion to discuss.
Get a second.
Second.
We went this year on a sliding scale, and you can see from your the resolution that all part-time employees will get $50. Full-time employees, 6 months or less, will be $50. 6 months to a year, $150. 1 year to less than 5, $175. And 5 years to less than 10, $200. And 10 years or more, $250. So, any discussion?
Just one question. This is legal to do?
Yes.
Because I remember there was kind of a brouhaha at the CAPC about giving Christmas bonuses.
Well, the last year we did this, and what we didn't do was get the approval from the city
Okay.
City Council.
So it is, okay.
I make a motion, we assign this resolution a number and read it for passage.
Second.
Mr. Meyer made the motion, Ms. Green seconded to sign the number and read for passage. No further discussion.
I have one quick question.
Okay.
So let's say an employee has been with us for 6 months to a year. They're eligible for $150. Is any of this bonus based on actual hours worked, or is it just a flat fee?
Full-time versus part-time. Full-time employees work 40 hours a week.
Okay.
Part-time's under 32 hours a week, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's 32, yeah. So that's where that comes in at. We wanted to give the part-time employees a bonus also.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with the bonus structure. I'm just, like, if you have a person that's been with us for 6 months at full-time and they've actually only worked 2 for whatever reason, 2 months?
No, that'd have to be worked full-time, 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So moved.
Assigning resolution number 852, a resolution authorizing an end-of-year payroll bonus, whereas the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs would like to provide an end-of-year employee bonus to its employees in recognition of faithful public service, and whereas the City Council requests approval of the following one-time end-of-year payroll bonus for all current employees of the City of Eureka Springs as follows. All part-time employees, $50. Full-time employees, 6 months or less, $50 more than 6 months to a year, $150 more than 1 year, less than 5 years, $175 5 or more to less than 10 years, $200 10 years or more, $250. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, that Section 1, the city requests approval to pay a one-time year-end payroll bonus. Section 2, the 2023 budget does not contain the allocation of this money. Therefore, a budget adjustment will need to be made, adding a line for year-end payroll bonus for 2023. Section 3, upon passage of this resolution, all changes will be entered into the 2023 budget and general ledger.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our business for tonight, and it lead to agenda setting. All right, hearing none, go to the city council comments. Mr. McClung, we'll start with your side tonight.
I'm good.
All right, Mr. Myers.
Had a great Thanksgiving with my daughter.
Ms. Slang?
I appreciate the city as a whole putting a little more emphasis in the Christmas decorations. So thank you to the CAPC and the city. Thank you.
And Parks.
Oh, and Parks,
Yeah.
of course, the main people.
Ms. Green?
Oh, it seemed like we had a really nice Thanksgiving in town. The town was busy, and driving down here tonight, I'll echo Miss Lane's thing. The town looked really festive and really nice, and the shop owners have really done a nice job. So kudos to everybody.
Mr. Holyfield?
I know we all appreciate our commissioners. They volunteer all their time and efforts to staff all these many commissions we have in town. In that spirit, I'd like to thank Judy Holden for several years of service on HDC, and also Kelly Ladwick, who served, I think, about 2 years, and she's her term was up and she just moved outside of town. Also Joe Hill on planning and zoning, who was on that commission for quite a while. Also on commission CAPC, I've been meaning to update everybody. There's been lots of changes. Scott Barden resigned. We hired Mike Maloney as our interim director, and we'll start the search for a full-time director pretty soon. We started that in the works already. Our meeting this month has been changed to December 21st for the budget meeting at 4 and our regular meeting at 6. That's it. Had a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Mr. Alfonzino?
I would like to send a very special shout out to the Parks Department for all their work on the lights in Basin Park. They could probably use a flash of flair, but then again, I'm still pleased with all the lights. It's nice to see them all coming up and everybody decorating their houses, whatnot. And just to echo what Mr. Holyfield said about the CAPC, things are going really well, and I'm impressed with how we're moving forward. The new addition of Colin and Bradley as commissioners, I'm glad they're on board, and I look forward to some other things.
It's nice to have almost a full
Yes, it
contingent
is.
on the CAPC. And I think you all
It's
get
not the
to
Steve and
have
David
another
show
person
anymore.
Possibly coming up too.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, I want to thank both of y'all too for serving on the CAPC. I mean, among your other duties, I know that's another, a lot of work going into that effort too. I want to remind not only the City Council but the public that we've got 4 workshops coming up. We've got a sidewalk workshop on Thursday, November the 30th at 4 p.m. We got a trash bag workshop on Tuesday, December the 5th at 4 p.m. And then, of course, we've got a budget workshop. The first one will be Thursday, December 7th from 3 to 5. And then we got the second budget workshop on Monday, December 11th at 5 o'clock. And that kind of brings us up into our some of the comments and a lot of activities that are going up. As mentioned earlier, we've got a new city website that's up and running and can be reached by going to www.eurekaspringsar.gov. So take a look at it, and I know all the employees in the city, or at least I am, speaking for myself, I was real excited over this replacement, and now it's up and operational. And I want to send out a special thank you to the city clerk treasurer, Ida Meyer, and our finance director, Michael Akins, for all of his work and her work for spearheading this project, because I know that took a lot of effort, a lot of time, and it's not as if they didn't have anything else to do. And for those who can't see, Michael's bowing back in the back and pirouetting. The holidays are in full swing, going around Eureka, so, we got most of our lights up. We still got a few more lights that are supposed to be coming in and get hooked up, so I'm real excited. The parks did a good job of putting them up. We've got a new parks director, and this is the first time he's been doing decorations for Christmas, and he's done an excellent job, I think, and all the staff up there, so it looks real exciting up through there. So, this Friday, December 1st, we'll have the official tree lighting ceremony at Basin Park at 5 p.m. And then, of course, we'll have our Christmas parade, the classic Christmas, following that at 6. And then that same evening, right after the parade, we'll have It's a Wonderful Life showing here at the auditorium at 7:15, free admission. And then also on the 1st and the 2nd, local artists will be at this year's Makers Market on Main Stage from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Larry Mansker is going to be offering portrait sessions at the market. So if you want to get a portrait done, it's a perfect time to do it. And Larry's an excellent portrait artist. Good old Santa Claus will be in Basin Park noon from 2 and 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. on Saturday, December 2nd, 9th, and 16th. So be sure to go by and see Santa. And then, of course, the 43rd Eureka Springs Preservation Society Christmas Tour of Homes is December 2nd from 1 to 6 p.m., which will be all over town. Also at that same time, the Christmas Tour of Shops will be going on from 1 to 7. And then we'll have the Grand Old Christmas Show, which will be live here at the auditorium on the 2nd from 7 to 9. And then on the next day, Christmas in Connecticut is showing at the Odd at 7 p.m. and again, free admission. And then the Silver Tea, the 56th annual Silver Tea will be held December 7th from 1:30 to 3:30 at the Crescent Hotel. And this is a wonderful time for everybody, and it's a great benefit. So if you get a chance to go up and participate. Home for the Holidays Christmas show will be December the 8th here at the Odd from 7 to 9. Christmas Vacation showing at the Odd on the 9th from 7:15. And again, those will be free admissions. And then the Sound of the Season concert of the Ozark Chorale will be December 10th at the auditorium at 7 p.m. So a lot of things going on this next couple of weeks. So if you get a chance, go out and celebrate and enjoy it. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Mayor,
Second.
is there any
yes.
way that you can email us a list of all those events?
Sure.
Okay, perfect.
I'll get that to
Or
you.
Kim?
Kim can do it. Yeah, Kim. We'll let Kim do it. You got it right. All right. I think we had a motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Yeah.
Second.
Second.
There was a second somewhere. in
Okay,
there.
I had